Hello and welcome to a new episode of Lost in Minecraft. Today we have a lot of underground to cover, so we are just going to jump straight in. This will be a new episode of our 30-minute adventure series, and as you can see we are starting way down underground in the mini base we made for diamond mining. Now, whilst we were making this great big shaft that I am now climbing up, we uncovered several interesting looking cave areas and systems and networks and things. So that one took us through to a abandoned mineshaft. We shall leave that for the time being, and we will look at this one just here. Had a bit of a fall. Let's take ourselves back up and we shall work down this little system here. So let's get our timer on the board. There we go, and let's move. We did initially block up this little section, but I think it is time to have a bit of a revisit. As you can see, we've got one tunnel that goes off to the left and one that goes off to the right, so we shall head down here to the left first. Nicely lit up by a lot of lava flows. We saw some lapis up on the wall there. It's always a good start. We've got some redstone on the side. Always like a little bit of redstone, particularly after making all of our powered rails for our Nether series. We need a bit of a top up. Let's see what else we can find around here. Yeah, it's quite dark down here, just lit up by the luminous lichen there. We found ourselves a first set of diamonds down here. As always, remember to have a bit of a dig around in the area just in case. They do sort of form in uneven patterns sometimes. It's always worthwhile having a bit of a dig around, and I think we have another setup there as well. Yes, we do. As you can see, there's plenty of iron down here, but with our iron farm it's not critically essential anymore. But diamonds, I think we can always take some fresh diamonds. They do come in useful. So have a bit of a dig around. Can we spot anything extra? Maybe not. Already we can see coming down this way does have the potential to be quite profitable. I've always been a big fan of investigating big cave systems like this. You never know what you can find. Everything from big mineral veins, geodes, spawners, just ways into the deep dark depths. It is always quite fascinating. As you can see, we've got another big sort of cave network here. We'll just go back and put a torch near our way in, so it'll be easy to find our way back to where we started. Some nicely lit up diamonds over there. Looks like a network that goes down a bit deep to the side there, but let's grab these diamonds whilst we are looking. Have a bit of a dig around as well, get some extras. Right, let's just get all this out. I'm a little bit surprised that we have not encountered too much in the way of enemies so far. Luckily, I think with the large amount of glowing lichen, it's keeping a lot of them at bay. But it also suggests that we do not in fact have any spawners in the area. The spawners would quite dramatically flood the area. Let's have a little investigate down this deep dark pit. As you can see, we're already pretty deep at minus 38 and dropping. And does this go anywhere? Nope, not really. Doesn't seem to be a great deal down this side. And nothing too much down here either. That is quite a surprise. Let's head back up into the main zone. Right, let's take ourselves round this other side again, see what we can find. As we can see, the cave does seem to dip down on the other side there, but we'll have a look round here first. Get ourselves a little bit more redstone. Doesn't seem to be too much else. Got a little corridor that runs down here. Got a bit more redstone. There's a lit up patch up there. I'm not quite sure we can work our way there just as yet. We should definitely come around and claim ourselves this little bit of redstone. Actually, it seems to be a lot of bit of redstone. Always useful. Always remembering, don't forget your Fortune 3 pickaxes or any other gathering tools you want to use. A bit of redstone down on the floor down there, so let's go get that. And we have found ourselves some more diamonds again. Right, have a little dig around just to be on the safe side. Any more for any more. No, looks like that might be about it. We shall head up the little side passage there. Now I think this just takes us back round into the chamber we were before, where, a little entrance chamber into this section. And we have an Enderman. We have our first bad guy who seems to be taking offence to us. I didn't think we'd quite caught his eye, but he obviously has decided that we did. So we dealt with him quick enough. There we go. As you see, he's dropped 2 pearls there. That'll be thanks to using our enchanted sword. Anyone else? I think we might have someone else to deal with in a moment. There we go. A couple of zombies. They seem to be conga lining the route that we've been down. Not sure how long they may have been following us. We can deal with them easily enough. I think we'll continue to follow the waterway down. Running nice and deep. We got some more redstone. We've got some gold on the side there. We may claim some of that a little bit later on. Because again, like the redstone, we used quite a lot of gold for our powered rails for our nether transit system. If you haven't seen that video yet, I would recommend giving it a look. It's a good little bit of fun. Yet more redstone and some more diamonds. A lot more diamonds. As I said before, if you were running short on diamonds, this is going to be a good little adventure to go on. Really beef up the stocks again. We seem to have a few bats fluttering around here as well. It's a very tall chamber, this one. We'll have to go up that waterfall later to see if there's anything up near the top. Took a little bit of damage passing over that lava there, but luckily because we're in the water I did not set on fire. Any day you don't set on fire, I think we can consider a good day. We have a bit more diamonds up at the top there. I'm just going to mine them out very carefully because of that lava flow. I'm not quite sure where it goes to. So just have a little look around, but again, it's not pushing my luck. This seems to be just about as far as this little section goes. Still plenty of bats around, so we'll sort out some of our storage, get our nether chest out, clear up some space. We don't have a great lot of room in the nether, sorry, the ender chest, not the nether chest, the ender chest. But what we can do is, to save ourselves a little bit of extra space, we can convert our diamonds and our redstone into blocks. 9 of each creates 1 block. So with that, we save ourselves a little bit of space, because there's plenty of room for converting more diamonds and redstone to then put into the ender chest. Put some other stuff into our bundles. This is why things like this are very useful. Allow you to carry a little bit extra, but let's claim our stuff back and continue on. Remember, when picking up your ender chest, use your silk touch pickaxe. Then it won't break and you can just pick it up again. Luckily with the ender chest, you can just pop it straight into a bundle itself. Even more useful. It's a shame that I believe you can only have one pair of ender chests on the go at any one time. If I'm incorrect about that, please let me know. Slap a comment down below, because if you can have multiples, then I am very tempted to do such as that. I know that in the end game you can craft something called a shulker chest. Oop, I was accidentally used my silk touch instead of my fortune to dig up that gold there. But yes, you can make shulker chests, which are just like regular chests, but oh, there's a creeper. When you break them, they keep the stuff in them, so you can really fill up, expand your inventory. Very useful, and you can make them different colours. But we're a long way from getting things like that. You need to be really late end game for that, which is a bit of a shame. But I can see why it's done like that. Part of the game is your inventory management. Which, particularly when you're going on adventures like this, becomes even more important. We've claimed that little patch of diamonds that was on the side. We're going to work our way up. Got a little passageway through here. Let's see if we can't work our way up to the top where that waterfall flows from. We just need to continue digging up and up. Being very careful of the lava. And yes, I believe this is us right up at the top again. Yes, there's our torch that was part of the entranceway. Have a little look up here. A nice little underground lake. When you get the various lighting effects with the lava and such like, they do look quite pretty. If you get some glow squid in there, it can be useful as well. Get the glow ink sacks. Bit of a tongue twister there, for me anyway. And there is a couple of the glow squid there. As far as I'm aware, they are a passive mob, so we don't have to worry about them too much. We'll just continue having a bit of a nosing up here. The first little area takes us back into the main cavern, which we don't really want at the moment. So we'll just work our way around the edges of this big lake. See what else we can find. With all these big caves and things, I really do feel there is something around here to find. Something big and impressive. Just not quite sure what yet. We've got some more redstone. We have a couple of zombies lurking in the bottom here, so let's deal with them. A little bit out of reach. I fall into the hole. Luckily we can deal with them. Not too much of an issue. We'll continue out and around. Yes, I think we're coming to the end of this little stretch of the cavern system. Once I'm done here for the video, I'll do a quick little fade through edit just to get us back to our starting point again. There's no point in watching going just through the tunnels unless anything interesting happens. But we're now halfway through our 30 minutes, and yes, I think we shall start to head back. Just leave down a little marker. It looks like we have a bit of a pit to investigate here. If there's anything interesting. Whether the water and the lava have formed any obsidian, or if we've got any monsters or minerals. But looking at what we have here would suggest there's not a great deal here for us, which is a shame. Looks like a zombie's come down this way and fallen foul of the lava. That's alright for us. So we shall work our way back up and then transition across to the other side. As you can see, we're now back where we started. And we're going to come down the other side. We seem to have a few little caves and tunnels to investigate down here. Get a little bit of iron. Nothing too drastic. Let's see where this all takes us. Again, as always, keeping a good close eye on the inventory. You never quite know when you're suddenly going to need a bit of space for those extra bits and pieces, particularly as we seem to have claimed some leather items that we really do not need, so we'll just ditch them. And we'll just continue along. Little Skellybob, let's deal with him. As you can see, the cavern ceiling here is made of gravel, so we just need to be a little bit more careful about where we're striking. One wrong hit could bring the entire cavern roof down on us. I don't really feel like heading up that way just yet, because we've got the main throughfare to sort of deal with. We've got a bit of lapis up there again. Not really going to touch that, because A, we do not really need it, and B, I don't want to risk bringing the ceiling down on us. Just keep things nicely lit up. Little hole down to the previous section. We've got a little pathway up. Quite a little warren down this side. We've got some more redstone. That takes us back down and then across. We'll have a look at that in a moment. At least it's heading in the right direction that we want. Let's quickly claim all this. And we've found even more diamonds again. We seem to be finding clumps of redstone and diamonds together, which, to be perfectly fair, I'm not complaining at. Oh, this is a big patch of diamonds we have as well. Boy, this will keep us in armour and gear for a long while. We've got another 24 already on top of, I believe it was 27 we had before that we converted into blocks. Nothing else around here. So let's just have a little glimpse on the other side. This is a bit of a cavern that way. I believe we may have just encroached on this area a little bit when making our shaft. So I'm just going to leave that be, head down this way. As you can see, I accidentally caused a whole load of gravel to come crashing down as I dislodged it. So always something to be very careful of. If you end up underneath falling gravel, falling snow, falling sand, anything like that, it can suffocate you. Now let's have a look down here. We've got a nice big open corridor, very well lit up by the lichen again. Lots of different types of stone down here as well, which is nice. Really have a good excavation. We've got some more gold, again surrounded by gravel, so we need to be a little bit careful. Just dig it out, let bits fall as and how they will. Don't forget, if you can place a block underneath the gravel when it's falling, if you put a torch down, it'll break it all as it falls. You can do a sort of quick switcheroo, break a block, place it down, but you need to be particularly quick on the draw. Now we seem to be coming out into another area. Now we've got a very big cavern here. I think we can see several abandoned mineshaft sections, quite a few zombies wandering around. Very cool. Good places to explore around here. Goes very deep as well. Big pit down there. Let's deal with him. Good lava down there. And you see that purple bit down there, that is a good find. That is quite fascinating. That looks to be a geode. They are sections that form underground in Minecraft, and they contain amethyst as well as types of quartz and things. They're very rare, very difficult to find, and almost always entirely underground. I have never seen one open and exposed just like this. So this is actually a really big, really important find. I'm very happy with this. There's some good uses for amethyst. I love making spyglasses. Very good for our outdoor adventures. You know, sort of little telescopes. They're also an absolutely fantastic decorative block. You look at that. Wonderful and shiny. As you can see, you've got the sticky out crystalline parts. If you land on those, they will hurt. Be warned. You want to do a mixture of harvesting using your fortune and your... well, that goes very far down. We have to be careful we do not fall. Yes, you need to use your fortune and your silk touch in here to make sure you can claim everything. I'll claim quite a bit anyway. You will have several different types of amethyst as well, because you can get budding amethyst, which if you place it down you'll grow little amethyst crystals. So yeah, this is a very big, very important, very rare find. Just going to claim quite a bit of it, not too much. Save it here for future excavations if needed. There's no point in taking it all if you don't need it. We know where it is, and it's quite easy and straightforward to get to. It's very far down. So let us continue up and out now. I'm astounded that we've managed to find that in such a cool state and cool position, but as you can see, we are very quickly filling up our storage again. Our inventory is filling up. We'll have to have a bit of a play around with that again shortly. Just claim some of these cool fancy blocks. I believe that's calcite blocks if I remember rightly. Maybe a look at the inventory will answer that shortly. We'll come up here and just slap another torch down. Yes, I think that's going to be our proper big discovery for today, I think. Now we only have just under 5 minutes of our 30 minutes left, but this is still quite a big cave, so I believe today we shall run into a little bit of overtime. That will make 2 out of the 3 30-minute adventures that have ended up more than 30 minutes, but after the past 2 videos have been shorter ones, I'm quite happy to do a slightly longer one today. And again, I do just enjoy digging through caverns and finding what we can find. And what we can find is apparently a lot more redstone. At this rate we'll be able to build a rail track from one side of the nether to the other. Well, that's such a thing's possible, but nice to think. I've never actually made an underground base in Minecraft, not a big fancy proper one. But I get the feeling if I was, this would be the sort of place where I would do it. It's a very cool cavern is this one, even more so than the previous one. We can use the water flows to get up and down, transport ourselves around. As you can see, we've got some zombies who've fallen in and become drowned. We've got some more redstone over there. Yeah, I think we seem to be bottoming out at about the minus 47 we got there. This is about the lowest we've managed to go today, which, considering we've just been using naturally spawned caverns, isn't too shabby. Oh, there's some glow squid ink. Again, our inventory is filled up again. I think our bundles are going to start to take a bit of a battering now. Just get anything with just single figure amounts and things, get them shoved into the bundles, really make maximum use of them, reclaim as much inventory as we can. Yeah, again, this section looks quite cool. Little cavern, a little chamber down here. Now I've just spotted whilst doing this, there was in fact some diamonds in there that I have wandered off and left. Don't do a me. If you see him, grab them. just shows why it's good every now and then just to take your time as you go. A very resource heavy area. Just in general, these two caverns we've investigated today, very profitable. That's not even considering the amount of iron that there's been. Got a pit downwards. We've got a new deepest depth for today. And a drowned. And a floor made out of obsidian. Don't mind claiming a little bit of extra obsidian. Our stock is a little bit depleted at the moment. Don't forget the short video from before where I demonstrate a good way of farming yourself a bit of obsidian back at base. Basically using our lava farm, infinite water source, and a couple of holes. It's a nice, quick, semi-efficient way to get yourself a good amount of obsidian, primarily for building portals and such like. Now, I do not have any water on me to put down for these, so what we need to do is just very carefully dig along, place blocks down as sort of deep in, as far in as we can reach, really fill in that lava and claim ourselves some more obsidian. Always good to be quick on the jump button, unlike them. Luckily we're heavily armoured and got good health, so we should be able to put out the flames and continue. Worst case scenario, could have just broken some of the blocks above me, which I put up to stymie the waterfall. And that would have put out the flames. Now, I realise again in this episode the in-game music seems to have been a bit hit or miss, deciding when it wants to come in and not. So I think for future videos we'll go back to the previous style of background music. It's just a bit more consistent, a bit more useful. A few moments ago you'd have heard the alarm going for our 30-minute total. Unfortunately I was too busy focusing on what we were doing to acknowledge it. So we are now into our overtime. Let's see what we can find. We've got one of the entranceways to one of the abandoned mine shafts. Won't go too far in, but we've got a nice minecart with chest here, so we can see the sort of special stuff we can get in it. Rails, iron, redstone. A good little haul, nothing too fancy. You can quite often find spawners inside abandoned mineshafts, which will be quite nice to have another one close to base. We've already got our spider spawner, but I would like probably a skeleton spawner is my favourite, definitely the most useful. You can collect the bones from the skeletons that you kill, convert them into bone meal, good for growing crops and things. They drop bows, they drop arrows, a lot of very useful items. Yes, our stash has become very full again. I think once we run out of space we're definitely going to have to consider turning back. But for now, we still have a little bit of space. I can't remember if I mentioned before, but I apologise if you can hear my neighbour's dog in the background. I believe they've gone out shopping and he is complaining about being left by his lonesome. Create blocks of raw gold there, gets a little bit more out of our inventory. Yeah, forget the ender pearls out. Again, it's just chopping and changing through the inventory, trying to make the best use out of everything. Yeah, just double checking, making sure I was using Silk Touch. One of these days I'm not going to, and I'm going to be very unhappy. But it is not this day. There's plenty to explore around here. Some more redstone in the ceiling. There's top there. But again, quite a lot of gravel around the place, which does still concern me. You dig out the wrong bit and you can either come down crashing down on you and smother you, or you can fall into goodness knows what. Got a little waterway here. Let's use this as our way out. Right, one final push. Let's see what we can find. Come on, Cavern, have you got one more cool little surprise for us before we head out? By the way, the water's coming down the staggered steps there. And that might be our best way up and out at the moment. Even more redstone. I think when I was recording this, by this point I was becoming blind to it. There's a few blocks we've missed now. As you can see, I have in fact accidentally used my Silk Touch pickaxe again on the redstone blocks. Let's see, what can we find up here? Doesn't seem to be too much. Got a nice view of the diode down there. Oh. I do think we have, in fact, made another little discovery. Let's have a look. Oh, flooding. Does this take us anywhere useful? I'd say probably not at the moment. Seems to be a few bad guys wandering around over there, so we don't want to deal with them just yet. Not when it looks like we have in fact discovered another spawner. Took a bit of a fall. Some little spiders, they'll be cave spiders. You have to be careful with cave spiders. They are venomous. They'll put a little poison debuff on you. Just trying to get the most out of the inventory. It is becoming a shove stuff where we have a bit of space. But it'll give the copper golems plenty to sort out when we get back to base and start to run it through our organisational system. Back up here. Quite funny actually, it seems to be in quite a unique position, is this spider spawner, because when the spiders come out to get us, they just get washed straight down the waterfall, so they cannot actually get to us. So let's have a quick little nosy around. Maybe give it a little bit of a clear out. Yeah, some more cave spiders, zombies. Luckily cave spiders are considerably easier to take out than the regular spiders. They're a lot weaker. One hit will usually do it with the enchanted sword, whereas it's 2 or 3 for a regular big spider. A bit of coal, I haven't seen much of that down here. Very unusual. I think now it is time to just finish up. We'll plop some more torches around the spawner so that the spiders won't bother us when we come back at a later date. But one thing we can do is use shears to harvest some of the spider web. So we shall get out our ender chest one more time. And there we have a set of shears. Pop it away, keep it safe. I think as we're coming to the close here, I do hope you enjoyed taking this little adventure through the dark caves and caverns. I have enjoyed going through them with you and finding that quite fascinating geode. As I say, we've got geodes, we've got spawners, we've got so much redstone, a whole load more diamonds. All in all, I think for an adventure it's been very profitable. A lot of fun. I'm looking forward to getting out of the caves for a little while now. And I think our next adventure may have to be in the Nether. Go back there, see if we can find some appropriate goodies in the fortress. Because there's a few things in the fortress I wouldn't mind finding. But we shall deal with that probably in the next episode. I'll do another 30-minute adventure. Might be a little bit more action-packed than this one. There's always plenty of enemies around in the Nether. Might not be quite so much inventory and resource shuffling, but I think all in all that may well be us done here. We've just got to find our way back out. This is a bit of a drop. We can work our way around to one of the plentiful waterfalls. There we go, just take ourselves gently down past the spider spawner. We know this is going to take us where we need to be. If you crouch down, you go down a little bit quicker, or you can just jump straight out and make sure you land on the water. Otherwise it will hurt a lot. We're just down beneath where we ultimately want to be. So just come round and clamber back up again. That's our little buddies. They've made good little waypoints during this adventure. back to where we want to be. Yes, I think this is us back up on the level. Yep, there's our torch above the geode. So we know just along here is our way up and out. Just through there. Let's have a ever so quick little glance down the other side, just in case. Then we shall make our way back out, and that will finish off this episode. So, like I said, I do hope you've enjoyed it. It's been quite a bit longer than our usual half-an-hour adventure. So, if you like the longer forms, please leave a comment. If there's anything you'd prefer me to have a look at, anything you think I've missed, just let that in a comment below as well. Like, share, subscribe, all the good YouTube stuff, as we're now just running our way back to our starting point. But thank you for watching, enjoying. Hope you've learned something, and I look forward to seeing you next time round. So goodbye.